problem with social media is you can connect with people that have no relation to the problem at hand.
Yeah.
So you can just like have this circle of garbage around you basically on any social media. Twitter's just the easiest to give an example of because like you could see like a bajillion tweets in a second. Scrolling through trends, you could see a bajillion. So it's like it's so easy to like pick and choose who you're listening to and then cause issues that way, or a lack of solving issues. Like you're just in this constant circle of negativity and garbage. Another reason that I think like young age groups like this have the highest suicide rate of all time. One, because they're exposed to a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Yep.
But two, you can surround yourself with negativity so easy.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just not do positive because positive is harder.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with people being lazy and not working on themselves. But then again, that's why not everyone is rich or not everyone is, successful fit, or even mentally fit, is because people don't work even on themselves, which is honestly the saddest thing, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you can surround yourself in negativity. That's why I think social media is a complete cancer.
Yeah.
And either needs to be changed, enforced in some way, because there's definitely positives, but it needs to be changed somehow. I don't know. It's just like, at the end of the day, nothing really positive comes out of social media. Yeah. To be honest with you.
Well, what's funny is that, TikTok, the founders which are in China, what they put out in their algorithm is very different than what they put out for like the Western world. For their algorithm, they for kids young age, they put out like kids doing rocket science, like science projects, exhibit museum projects, like stuff like that. That's going to accelerate their mind because you're constantly scrolling, and so what they feed the Western world is these influencers like our age. You see them just shaking ass, or like just very depressing stuff, and to me that's like, at the same time, you yourself, you can change the algorithm, to make it more motivational, so you don't have to see those things. But at the same time, it's like, where do you start?
But seeing those things are easy. That's the problem. Is people that don't care are just going to go on their TikTok and see a girl shaking ass and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the extra work, and they know that. That's why those videos do well. It's because like the sexual energy is the strongest one for both genders. So it's like that stuff's easy. It's easy to grasp onto. It's not easy to actually work on yourself and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That stuff's available. Like that's the benefit of social media is like technically, theoretically, there is anything available on the internet.
Oh yeah.
On social media. You could find anything you want. But that's not what people do. That's why social media is AIDS, because it's like no one actually does that. It's just the easy stuff to pick up.
Yeah.
This actually connects to the culture war tweet that Elon put out.
Yeah.
Elon basically put out, we're talking a lot about Elon. Basically, this man's a genius. I don't know what to say. He put out a tweet.
Yeah.
All it said, open forum, what do you think of the culture war?
Now you see, if the number one billionaire can state that, it must be true.
That's the thing that alarmed me about that tweet is I haven't seen anyone mega famous, or I shouldn't even say famous, mega influential, like sports figures, billionaires, even mention that there's a war happening that we can't see. Yeah. That's the scariest part is we can't see it happening. That's why I was looking through the replies of this tweet.
Yeah.
They were talking about the race war. They were talking about which the race war exists, but I think that's because media itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at us right here. We're diverse. They were talking about like rich versus poor.
Yep.
The best tweet I saw was collectivism versus individualism. I don't know how I didn't stutter there. That's impressive. Good shit. Let's go. So those which shows that in 3 tweets I read, there are 3 different issues that people consider culture.
Yeah.
But then there was also the 4th tweet that they were claiming the culture war didn't even exist, which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
How can you attack so many issues? That's what the media is doing. That's what the government is doing. They want chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can do stuff in chaos when people are focused on other things.
Well, have you ever heard of the saying divide and conquer?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that, if we look at what's happening today in every aspect of culture, you can see that there's 2 sides to everything. And so I feel like that's how you can control a mass of people, And so it's like that's very scary, because it's like at that point, no wonder why freedom of speech is getting cut off.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, the thing is though, like, there's no need to divide just because we've already been divided for centuries. Like,
But my argument against that is like, are we divided because we are, or because the government or the media has made us divided?
I think media basically, like a speaker basically, right? Like, you can hear something from your phone or whatever, you know it's there. But the speaker makes it louder. It's like more vocal. Everybody who downstairs or wherever you are can hear it. I think media has done nothing but basically echo it, make it louder, and push it to the forefront of everybody's view. Because let's be honest, regardless of what type of culture war is going on or whatever, you make profit off of it. There's no profit in unity. There's no profit in any of that.
Yep.
There's profit if for example, like, this is just one of the examples, right, of the cultural war, I guess. Male and female, right? Guys and girls. The culture war between that, like, one side, like, females trying to make the male more submissive and weak, and the other dudes to not push back, whatever. There is a war because there's profit to be found in it.
Yep.
As soon as there's no more profit, nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, sorry, this is the last example I'm gonna give you, right?
Yep.
For example, Black History Month. I'm gonna be honest, I'm on my Morgan Freeman. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's history. Stop it.
Morgan Freeman says that?
Yeah, I'm pretty
crazy.
sure it was
I saw that
Morgan
interview.
Freeman
I saw that
who was
interview.
just like, well, how do you get rid of racism? Stop talking about it.
Yep.
Like, it's only exists because you make profit off of it. Let's be honest. Once a month, once out of the 1 month out of the year, company puts up Black Lives Matter, whatever, make money off of it. People buy into it. Next thing you know, next month, soon as the first of the next month hit, they're gone. They don't care because it makes them money.
Yep.
That's all it is about.
Exact same thing with Gay Pride Month. Or
Yeah.
like, I guess it's LGBTQ Pride
Yeah.
Month now.
Yeah.
When it first started, it was Gay Pride Month. But it's the exact same thing. These companies change their logo.
Yeah.
These mega corporations change their logo for 30 days of June.
Yeah.
July 1st, back to normal.
Yeah, and it's honestly because they do not care about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And people think, oh, they care because they said something. No, they don't. Because if they did care, regardless of what month it is, regardless of what happened, they will continue to support you and follow. But they don't, because it's all about money at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. These companies, these people are getting played regardless. This is a whole nother issue. For me, the biggest example of this is like Spotify, because I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Gay Pride Month rolls around. They pop up, listen to these artists that are part or support this community, stuff like that. Who do you think makes 90% of the profits on you listening to a stream of a song?
Spotify.
Fucking Spotify. Oh, here's these NFL teams that have Pride Month on their field, sell Pride jerseys. Who do you think is making profit on it?
Yeah.
Not the organizations. They claim they're sending profits to the organization, right?
Yeah.
And they might, but if I know a mega corporation at all, it's let's hide some of the profits and send the rest to this organization. Not only to say that, but these organizations are also extremely corrupt.
Yep.
They barely send any money to the actual cause. Like the You know what? I'm not even going to go into that organization talk. That is so off topic.
Is it what I think you're talking about?
Elon said it. Actually, it's kind of not off topic because Elon, I think, mentioned it. Somebody was saying, like, donate, if Elon donated his money, he could solve world hunger because people claim world hunger can be solved with $8 billion.
Yeah.
But the World Hunger Foundation, or whatever it's called, rakes in $9 billion annually. Jeez. Where is this money going?
They could have solved it. But I'm not going to lie. Long Beach said it the best. I'm not going to lie. Why did my brain just die? What did Long Beach say? Long Beach said it best. Rich people are not inclined to spend their hard-earned money on broke people problems.
Yeah. I also agree that people need to take an economics class because Jeff Bezos doesn't have $200 billion sitting in his garage. Most of it is liquid.
Yeah.
It's in companies. He doesn't have it in his garage.
Shares.
Take an economics class. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I don't get it. People like have this broke people have this weird idea of money.
Yeah.
Where like it's all cash. You have it all. His net worth $250 billion. He might have $1 billion of it sitting in his bank.
It's the
maybe.
company,
Maybe.
No.
He might have $1 billion sitting in his bank. But I doubt he even holds on to that much money.
Yeah.
He probably is like, what are you going to need more than $1 million for? You know what I mean? It's like, if anything, you have $1 million in your bank and everything else is liquid.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna honestly reference Andrew here because I just seen a video about Andrew talking about like money and stuff like that. Like realistically, most people don't need more than $1 million. But like everything after like 20, I think he's like $22 million.
Yeah.
Everything is the same because you already bought that car that you wanted. You don't need more than like 5 watches or whatever. You can buy whatever watch you want. You got the house you want. You don't like after that. Life is the exact same. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You have all the money you want. There's nothing really to do. So what point is there to just be having like $1 billion in the bank for what?
You're not buying nothing.
No, you have what you want.
Yeah.
You have what you need, I should say, or whatever, or want.
100%. Anyways, back to the culture war.
Yeah.
Swapping right back. It's just the divide is there because we allow it to be there.
Yeah.
To an extent, I don't agree with Morgan Freeman if that was his quote, if that's his actual quote, where if you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. Because I can see both sides there. Some people are like, no, you have to talk about it for it to be solved. I also don't 100% agree with that either because like you could just be spewing out your ass and you cause your own problems. You know what I mean? So I think there's both. I think both are true.
Yeah.
But human nature is that we are always divided.
Yeah.
It's just worse because of the media and bias and all that. It's just worse now. But the divide is always there. That's why there will never be such thing as world peace. That's why there will never be a war happening. It's like there's always going to be something because there's divide. Human nature is to divide.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. I think what's interesting, right, is all the stuff that we're divided about. And this is where it comes in where I think it's the media doing it or like, all the different avenues you have to talk to people now and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everything that we are divided about is all material or physical.
Yeah.
Race, money. There's the divide that will always exist is religion. But that's completely different in my opinion. Because that's a divide where it is literal life or death for some of these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, boy? Like in the Middle East, for example, there's always wars about Muslim and stuff like that. But spirituality to me, that's not physical.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that there is a divide there because you have actual different morals. You have actual different...
Yeah.
But, for example, in the U.S. where there's a war on rich people or a war on different races, it's like, that's all physical crap.
Yeah.
And they attack that because it's easy. You don't have to think to say you're black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to think. You just know. So, and then the stuff with religion, it actually takes some deep thinking. You know what I mean? Like, oh, is this actually what my God would want me to do? Do I really want to fight for this God? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, divide like that, I understand.
Yeah.
It's just, in the U.S. right now, it's just all materialistic divide.
Oh, yeah. And see, I'm going to be honest with you. I think there's parts of, like, spirituality, religion, stuff like that, that to me kind of goes back to a little bit to lazy thinking, a little bit. Just because most people would just, instead of taking what would make them a better person or whatever, right? They're going to say, okay, I'm going to follow this because it makes my life easier and I can do whatever I want still. Like, if I want to go to the club, have fun, pick up a few girls or whatever, take them back to my place, I can do that because what I believe says I can, basically. Versus, okay, this is going to make me a different person. I want to strive to be a different person or a better person or whatever. Like, I don't remember who said it, but somebody was talking about how regardless of if you believe in religion, like regardless of, for example, if you don't believe in God, regardless if you don't believe in God or not, you have to admit to some extent he exists. Because even if it's just the idea, right? If that idea made 10 people act righteous and different, right? Then that has some realism to it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it's real to an extent regardless if you believe it or not. Because it genuinely made a difference.
Because that idea changed people.
Yeah. In which case, I mean, regardless, I'll always say I'm a very religious person, right? But even if you look at it from that standpoint, I actually honestly agree with that. Even if you don't believe or anything like that, it's real. If it's real enough to change people, then it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd also said, I think this is actually Tate thinking about this totally. Why do I keep seeing videos of Tate? But Tate was talking about how people, or he saw the solution. He found God, right? That atheists couldn't find or whatever. And he quoted, I think it was Newton's law, how every reaction has an opposite and equal reaction. For every For every force, there is an equal and opposite force as well. So if you look in the world, you see all this bad, all this negative, you see basically hell on earth or whatever, then there has to be an opposite of that.
Yeah.
To an extent, regardless of what you think. If you're a science person, that should make sense, right? But it causes you to open your brain up and think differently, and ain't nobody trying to do all that, unfortunately.
Yeah, so. I think it. Did you want to say something?
I think you guys covered it. Yeah.
I think what it comes down to there is, I like to think of society as like a pendulum.
Yeah.
We've been swinging one way. And at some point in a pendulum, it's gravity that pulls it. But at some point, there's a resistance so strong that it pushes back no matter how low of a minority it is. At some point, people stop bending.
Yeah.
You stop bending. In that case, it's like weight, gravity, some physics crap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I failed the physics AP test. And then you scroll down, go the other way. So I think at some point we're going to go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's going to push back. Like, in my opinion, the best example of that in world history is actually World War II. Germany was so far low and so far on this side of the pendulum. They had a complete minority. They were so down, but that minority was strong enough to push it back. And then we ended up with, World War II and concentration camps. And that's so far this way. And then it pushed back.
Yep.
And now Germany is, I don't know their politics, but I'd say neutral, I guess, in the world. But it's like you push pendulums back and forth. So it'll just keep that cycle. But that's why there's divide, because the only time there's no divide is when it's right here, right down at the bottom, but it never stays there.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. So, I don't know. I think there will always be that equal force that you talk, like that Tate said, or where you were talking about, where there will always be people on the other side, but nobody takes that other side into account right now.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't care, which is, bad groupthink, echo chamber crap.
Yeah.
It's honestly terrifying that there's even, like, for example, that, like you had said, that small minority of people that don't even believe that there's anything going on, like everything's perfectly fine.
To me, those people are just straight up, like, further in echo chamber than anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's part of the issue with humanity is, not humanity, actually. Let me rephrase that. Americans. There is zilch. Absolutely zero self-awareness in most people. You have absolutely zero common sense, zero awareness about anything happening, and you don't even want to think about things happening, which is awful.